Yeah. And risk taker, vibe maker. Open app, I ain't praying. I just laugh at the line they laying. All the models, numbers, charts. I just feel it in my heart, then I spray it. Big hit, that's a Hail Mary pick. They shook, I'm just calm with the click. Talk stats, they quote when they sermon. I'm scrolling for that Raw Street German. Dirty dumb, trying to slide in the squad. Bad karma, that boy too hard. Seen too many red cards, late bands. I don't let that touch my hands, but Wilson, man, that boy my cousin. Rain on his boots, man, start buzzing. Folding in the half space, ice cold face, 2 taps, whole rank start jumping. Yeah. I'm the king of the green area. Climbing up the ranks, off vibes, not hero. Check graphs, I just trust my marrow. Every risky pick, turn to gold, play the pharaoh. I'm the king of the green arrow. Hit that cap, holy, go narrow. Chase trends, I'm ahead like tarot. D-unit crown on the app, that's factual. Group chat blowing, they panic. Crown on the blank, that's tragic. They blame some spreadsheet spirit. I blame that fear they inherit. I bet you swear as a lock. I start the kid fresh off the block. While Wilson, they type in caps. Next day, they watch the breaks on a recap. While folding, you ask too much. Light on his feet, got the velvet touch. Ghost in the box, appeared and vanished. That's real magic, they can't brandish. D-unit don't run from the smoke. I roll dice where your algo choke. You see risk, I see throne room doors. One right call, I'm 10 floors above yours. I'm the king of the green area. Climbing up the ranks, all vibes, not hero. Check graphs, I just trust my marrow. Every risky pick, turn to gold, play the pharaoh. I'm the king of the green area. Hit the cap, whole league go narrow. You chase trends, I'm ahead like tarot. D-unit crown on the app, that's factual.
Hello and welcome to the Gameweek 27 deadline stream. And oh my God, that was a nervous watch. I've just finished footying and I was like, I wanted to start at 5 minutes early, but I was versus Murat's team. And after a 2-0 lead, comfortable at half time, the boys started bottling it. They did an Arteta and they were shocking. The second half, I played right up front. I put him back in the number 10. I bought on another striker and Murat scored a goal out of literally absolutely diddly squat. And we hung on. 20 shots to 3. It's like Sam and George have it in for the D unit this season. Games just make no sense at all. But yes, hello, welcome. We'll get straight into the questions. Hopefully the stream is up and running and hopefully with a little bit of luck. I actually haven't got it open, so I'm going to have to quickly double check. But we should be good to go. I'm going to quickly flick into this. Let's hope that works out all right. Very good. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. And there we go. Start the timer. Look at that. It's going to be bang on. I've done that pretty damn well. There we go. All right. So, yes, we're up to 1.078 million in the world. I still can't believe I've just survived. I've literally survived. I've survived. All right. I'm going to get this actually open on stream now so I can actually see what's going on as well. So just bear with me a second, folks, while I quickly get up and pull this up. I can't believe Murat almost did me. He almost did me. I would never have heard the end of it. Imagine Murat won that, somehow came back and got something out of that game. I would never, ever have heard the end of it. But alas, here we are. And thankfully, it looks like the stream is running okay. So that's good news as well. So touch wood. I didn't actually reset anything. I didn't have any time. I was at the Living End supporting the missus. She's running an event in Kalgoorlie today. So the Living End, if you don't know who they are, they're a rock band from, I think, the 80s, 90s. And they are playing, well, they've only got 2 songs. It's White Noise. That's the one I know. And White Noise, and what's the other song I've heard? I know, I should know this. Why do I not know this? I've forgotten. White Noise and Prisoner of Society. That's the one. Prisoner of Society. So, yeah, if you don't know who they are, that's what the missus is actually doing. The place, half the town is down there at the moment, and I'm here doing a deadline stream for you wonderful people. So, yeah, I'm missing out on the 2 songs, but I've got my drink here. I'm going to do a little bit of a mosh review lot on here as well. And yeah, there we go. We are ready to go. I'm just going to quickly share this as well because obviously we are running behind. Footy and playing at 7 p.m. and then the deadline stream starting at 7:30 is a disaster. No one likes that. Normally if it had been an early kickoff, the deadline stream would have finished just as the Footy game started and we could have just carried on watching Footy at the end of the deadline stream. But alas, we've been thrown out of whack here. I've even shown it in the wrong bloody chat. That's how useless this is. So poor effort from the D unit there. Off to a very sloppy start, but I'm a bit rattled. Murat's rattled me. He rattled me. We almost lost. Deadline stream, up and about. Stream up. Oh my God, I can't even spell now. Stream up and about. Come and get your questions answered. Now, obviously, the big point for me, as we can see here, we've obviously got a few issues. So, my bench this week, I'm not convinced I've got it right. Mukiele at home screams points. So does Canade away at Forest. And so does Wilson, to be honest. And the card yesterday said Wilson would outscore Mukiele, and he's last on the bench. So, I don't know if that needs to stick. Verbruggen is clearly on the bench. Now, double Chelsea defence. It was really interesting. So, there's a few people in here that were on FPL Tom's stream before, and I joined that. And he's in the same predicament as me. Double Chelsea defence has been absolutely unapologetically crap for the last 3 weeks, where we would have expected them to actually have done something. And I've just realised I need to quickly adjust that. My camera is not in the correct spot. Hold on. That needs to go. Oh, no, I've taken myself off camera. You idiot. There we go. No, I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is, you absolute tool D unit. I've moved the wrong thing. There's too many things on my screen. There we go. Now my arm's not getting cut off by the screen. That makes a bit more sense. There we go. Let's move that over there slightly as well. My God. Talk about idiot. All right, Kanji keeps on picking crap 1 week punts on the podcast, man. Heard that Estevao wasn't involved in the last 2 training sessions. Yeah, he's just good at picking nonsense. Dina has joined the cartel. I am the cartel. Recap before the stream begins. Bruno captain is just boring. JP has to be the play. Thank you. Stream over. That's fair. Fair point. Fair point. Footium fix is in. I know. Did we win? If you've just played your Footium game, please let me know if you've won. And look, the disappearing unit has just disappeared and he's back. It's like Houdini. Houdini unit. Yeah, you don't get that very often. Up to 20k sub counts. Yeah, man, it's been a very surreal week. I was just discussing this with Luke. We pushed the content into India for the first time, and my God, it's taken like a duck to water over there. Great seeing you on the Golden Goal live stream this morning. Thank you very much. Good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Hello, Kevin. How are you, buddy? Good morning. It's good evening for me, but good morning to you. Choose formation with best 11, please. All right, let's have a look what we got here. Dubravka, Roofs. You're playing Roofs out of those 2. Hill, Gabriel, Timber, Chalaba, Mukiele, Cunha, Bruno, Enzo, Rogers, Dango, Harlem, Bowen, JP. Holy hell. You've got a benching dilemma. I'd bench Cunha. I'd bench Timber, and I would bench Hill. And I'd play the rest. I think that goes as a 3-4-3 if I've got that right. 3-4-3, that's what I'd play. I got Roos, Virgil van Dijk, Gabriel, Hill, Chalaba, Verts, Rogers, Semenyo, Haaland, João Pedro, Ekatike, bench, Kelleher, Senesi, Dewsbury Hall, Lafee. Who would you bench for Senesi? No one except Hill. It's either Hill or Senesi on your bench. That's essentially what you're looking at there, I think. For me, that's what I'd be doing anyway. And to be honest with you, I'd be almost tempted to play Kelleher over Roofs. That's a real line ball call, that one. Put the blue screen back on. I know, mad. Start Timber or Hill? Hill. Not with any confidence. I think both teams concede. I think Hill's better for DC. I don't think Timber's going to get anything. I wouldn't even be surprised if Timber started on the bench, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Good morning, Andrew. I bumped Timber up. I bumped Timber to the bench for Mukiele. Lost faith in Arsenal. Subs are flying, buddy. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I would play Mukiele. I am tempted to play Mukiele over Gabriel. I'm not going to lie. I'm very tempted. I just know that Spurs are crap off set pieces, and for that reason, that's why I'm playing Gabriel. It's not because of the fact I think Arsenal have got a good chance of a clean sheet. I actually think they concede at Spurs. But I've seen Spurs defend this season off set pieces, and they will concede goals. And for that reason, that's why I'm playing Gabriel. Not for the clean sheet. It's potentially for the header goal. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense. Verts and Hill or Szoboszlai and Canade? For me, it's Verts and Canade, but obviously you can't afford both of those combos. It's got to be Verts and Hill. Verts and Hill. 4-0 win thanks to Luke's anthem. Yes, that's what we love to see. Big Pav. Dean is the cartel. Hi, Dewsbury Hall or Wilson and Richards versus Mukiele. Choose 2 to play. Dewsbury Hall or Wilson? I'd play Wilson, and I'd definitely play Mukiele. I'd play Mukiele. That's an easy one. The Wilson Dewsbury Hall one's a bit closer, but I think Wilson's a better player than Dewsbury Hall. They've both been in very good form. I just prefer. That's a tough one. That's a really line ball one. I don't think you could go wrong with either. You could expect returns from both of them, to be honest with you. Good morning, Rob. How are you? Hit those. Yes, please smash those like and sub buttons. 5-5 last minute penalty, and the ref blew for full time. Oh no! The guy was seen sneaking out of the ground wearing a ref's kit. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! 5-5. That's insane. That's all Rahi's team. Did Rahi lose? Did Rahi lose? I was watching that game, and Rahi was up 3-2, and then the next time I checked, he was down 4-3, and I don't know how the game finished. But either way, it was. I think Rahi might have lost. I think he was in front, and he threw it away. At least Murat's not in the chat, which means he's sulking because the D unit beat him. But that happens, unfortunately. I'm going to sell Rice next week. Who would you get instead, Verts or Semenyo? My heart says Semenyo, but my brain says Verts. Give Man City's playing. I already have Verts, so for me, I really wanted Semenyo. Now, I did look. There were other options instead of Semenyo, right? I could have got Rogers, which meant I could have got Virgil. But there's something about Semenyo that I just think, to be honest, I saw in the group chat before, the WhatsApp group chat, lots of people talking about Semenyo captain. And to be fair, that might actually be a better shout than Carlin captain. Because I feel like if Man City are like 2 to 3 goals up, Haaland probably comes off like early again. And in that case, maybe Semenyo is a better captain. And look, if João Pedro didn't have the first game of like the live 3 p.m. watch-alongs, I'd probably captain João Pedro. But because he's in the first game, I don't like the captaining in the first game and of the game week. We all know my thoughts on early kickoffs, etc., etc. I just don't like captaining early because if it goes crap, you're just sitting there the whole weekend looking at Haaland going, I hope he does nothing. Looking at Bruno, hoping he does nothing, etc., etc. I do like, historically, to captain past the first lot of games for the game week. So that this week, it kind of rules out all Brentford players, even though I don't have any, all Chelsea players, and I have 3 of them. And it rules out, what's the other game? Aston Villa versus Leeds. I don't have any players in that game. So for me, that's just how it works. But yeah, it is what it is. Start Timber or Wilson. I would start Wilson out of those two. Easy decision, that one, I think. Yeah, but it's Wilson versus Mukiele. I know, that is the tough one, Sandri. I get your point. I really get your point. That's why I'm benching both. Look, to be fair, I could easily see Mukiele getting DC and an assist and Wilson scoring a goal and them both returning massively. Like, it's very possible. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I think they're both really good picks this week. And Wilson post this week. Like, I know, it was really weird. So Wilson dropped in price tonight, right? And I don't agree with the FDR for Sunderland being a red fixture away from home. I think that's a bit generous, if I'm being brutally honest. But post then, it's Spurs at home, West Ham at home, Forest away, Burnley at home. The next 4 fixtures for Wilson are like they're like liquid gold. They're just going to be so good. And I just think that's why I didn't sell him, because I just want to buy him back, to be fair. Would you bench Brewster, bench Dubravka, Rice, Timber, Mukiele? Also, who to start between Rice and Caicedo? I think you start Rice over Caicedo. And I wouldn't bench boost that. Just straight out the gate, I just wouldn't bench boost it. Bench 1, Semenyo, Rogers, Rice, Rayan, Bruno F. Oh, come on, Luke, turn it up. He lost! The Rahi! Where's the song? Where's the song? Rahi's got to go. In the bin for the Rahi. Where is he? He's not in the chat. Rahi is not in the chat. He's carrying with Murat. Murat and Rahi are in the losers' corner. They are the losing admins today. And look, there's crickets. You can't see them in the chat. They've gone missing in action. Luke's got to be taking the absolute piss out of both of them, which is what we all love to see. In terms of benching, I would bench Rice out of that lot. Or Ryan. It's between Rice and Ryan. Actually, I'd probably bench Ryan. Dean McDonald, lock it in. Martinez, Mukiele, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Rice, Rogers, Wirtz, Semenyo, Captain, Haaland, João Pedro, Ekitike. That's a really good, strong-looking team this week. I reckon you're on for a green arrow, McDonald. After today, João Pedro becomes out, Thiago comes in. That's exactly the kind of move I'm looking at. But for me, I might actually keep João Pedro. Going to talk about that in my transfer plans early next week. And I think I'm going to turf Bowen. I've looked at the fixtures and I think that João Pedro might be more used to me in 31 than what Bowen will be. So for that reason, I'm going to turf Bowen for Thiago and roll with it like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Chelsea's fixtures turn for the worst. Brentford's fixtures between now and the end of the season look very good. The other thing I'll say about João Pedro, he's one of those players that the fixture, he's scored in the good fixtures this season, right? Like he's actually scored against decent teams. So I wouldn't be too concerned about him against those harder teams, if that makes sense. Bench Munoz or Alderete, you've got to bench Alderete. You've got to play the upside there. Munoz has definitely got way more chance of an attacking return for me. Hi, Darius. Got 4 free transfers, 0.6. What should I do? So you've made 1 transfer because you had 5 earlier in the week, didn't you? Roofs, Gabriel, Virgil, Chalobah, Fernandez and Pumo, Rice, Rogers, Enzo, Haaland, Thiago. Nothing. You don't need to do anything this week, Eddie. Absolutely nothing. In fact, the only thing I'd actually recommend to your team is I'd probably play Mukiele over Rice. And I'd roll the rest. I'd roll the other 4. Deal with the other things next week. That's what I would do in your team. Hey, which 2 to bench? Mukiele, Wilson, Virgil, Senesi. I'd bench Senesi and I would bench Wilson out of those 4, probably. In my own head, I've got Mukiele in front of Wilson, because Mukiele's at home. Now, if this was reversed and it was away, I'd have Wilson significantly in front of Mukiele. Even at home to Burnley, double Chelsea defence. I know it is McDonald. I know. Trust me, I'm expecting it to fail, but miracles sometimes happen, right? Don't they? Even one Chelsea defender would be brave. Would not be surprised if Chelsea concede again today. Yep, that's right. I wouldn't be surprised either. Palmer captain and Bruno vice captain. I love it, Simon. Salah captain, Ramadan hat-trick. Yeah, it could be Tommy. Start Wilson or Elliot Anderson. Wilson, just higher ceiling. With Brentford superb fixtures, concede them finishing 5th. I agree, Rob. Bench Hill, Munoz or Mukiele. Good to see you, Matthew. I'd bench Hill out of those 3. But I'll contradict my Thiago versus João Pedro point. As far as Chelsea are concerned after today, even 1 return for João Pedro would look good. He'll probably be the only one worth talking about. Yeah, you're probably dead right. You are dead right. I understand the Palmer love. I really do. I really get it. And I think if I had 5 free transfers, I would probably take a punt and waste 2 transfers bringing him in and probably another 2 to get rid of him. But because I don't have 5 free transfers, I'm not tempted by it because I don't think he's worth a hit. So, yeah, that's what I'd say about that. No problem, Andy. My pleasure, as usual. Brentford always fall away. Exactly. They do, but the Premier League this season is a really weird league. I feel like this season is just weird. Like, I feel like Arsenal were like the Liverpool of last year. Like, Liverpool just kind of catered away with it because everyone else was crap. This year, Arsenal was the Liverpool team, but Arsenal are just doing their usual bottle job around this time of the year, and they're completely falling apart. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on there. Expecting Burnley to score randomly. Honestly, I'm expecting it as well. I'm not even going to sit here and say that I expect the Chelsea clean sheet. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping. Like, if you've got West Ham at home, Leeds at home, Wolves away, and Burnley at home, you would expect at least 2 clean sheets from that run of fixtures. If they somehow get none, I think Chelsea are cooked. They will not finish in the Champions League spots because if you can't keep clean sheets against the crap teams, you're not keeping them against the good ones. You're just going to get rolled and you're going to lose, unfortunately. That's just the way I read it. Rumours going around saying Semenyo is benched. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, I've seen some weird stuff. I'd be shocked if he was benched, though. He's been in unbelievable form. And Man City don't play this week. Like, their next game is against Leeds in... Leeds next Sunday. Like, hold on, the 22nd of February. Sorry, they've got the late kickoff. I was like, they don't play on a Sunday. They play tonight. It's Saturday. That's Australian time. 4 a.m. Australian time. The Premier League need to help the D unit out. Stop putting these stupid ass 8 o'clock Saturday night games on. It's absolutely killing my sleep. It takes me all week to get it back on cue, and then it gets all whacked again because the Premier League think, stuff the D unit. He can watch the 4 a.m., the 8 a.m. games, and I go to bed at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's ridiculous. Someone needs to just sit there and sort that out. Pep's hairdresser said the robot's bench. Can't afford verts. Am I crazy to buy Dirty Dom? No, you're not crazy, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've seen that too. Gakpo for the win. The thing is with City, right? There's just rumours galore about that team. I don't trust anything I read on X at all, unless I've written it. And even then, I doubt if it's... Even then, I doubt whether I believe it if I've written it. So, depending on the day. So, yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately. Dirty Dom's not too stupid, but I can't get on board. I just think back to that penalty moment. I just think I'm glad I dodged him. I know he had a couple of hauls post that, and fair play to anyone that held him through those hauls. But not for me, unfortunately. Not for me. Gakpo for the win, yeah. I think Gakpo's a really brave move if you go there. I had him at the start of the season. He was good. He's not been good for a while. I had Hill benched, just not happy with the Munoz pick. We'll be getting rid as soon as I can. Yeah, I think Munoz after this week, based on what was coming out of Glasner's mouth yesterday, I actually think the All Palace assets are a sell after this game week. I wouldn't even be surprised if they cocked up the Wolves game as well. Wolves aren't a horrible team, and they seem to be playing for pride at the moment, which is scary. Nilax, Gabriel, Timber, Chalobah, Munoz, Rice, Rogers, Enzo, Bruno, Semenyo, João Pedro, and Haaland, bench 1. Timber. That's an easy one. Timber. I am. How come 5 at the back with 2 midfielders struggle versus a back 4 with 2 midfielders and footy him? Yeah, that's really interesting. So there are some formations I've found, this is a really good point, some formations do better than others. And I found that out the other day. So I was playing a 5-2-3, and the 5-2-3 was absolutely slaughtering me. And I was playing a 4-3-3 high. I changed the 4-3-3 high to I'm going to say a 3-4-3. And then I ended up winning comfortably. It does depend. Like some games, like yesterday, I cooked it. I thought that the formation was the problem again. I changed the formation at half time, and South Park drew. Everyone saw that in the live watch long yesterday. It was frustrating. But yeah, sometimes I think the game just works against you in certain circumstances, if that makes sense. That's why I love it, because it's just like real football. Like some results make no sense, but at the same time, I'm glad it's like that, because that's what football's like. Arsenal, for example, went to Wolves. You would never have expected a 2-2 scoreline. A 2-2 scoreline endured. You can't reason with it. You can't predict it. It just happens. That's why I quite like it. Gakpo, good shout. This Premier League has been a weird one. Too many of the teams are more focused on cancelling each other out and setting for draws. Yes, I agree with that. Explains why midfielders are amongst the highest total points with DEFCONs coming into play. I agree. Thoughts on Mbeumo's minutes going forward? He'll be fine. I have no issues with Mbeumo's minutes at all. Sheshko's knocking at the door, and I tell you who's going to be leaving the team if Sheshko's knocking on the door for a start. It's going to be Mateus Cunha, or it's going to be Ahmad, because Mbeumo is just in the form of his life. Xerxes is not an issue. There is no way in any world that flop starts a game for Manchester United between now and the end of the season, unless there are bulk injuries or bulk suspensions. That dude is a fraud. Mason Mount is just not a problem because he can't stay fit. So even if he's back, he's probably only going to be able to play 15 to 20 minutes. So I don't think you need to worry. Sheshko's the one, but I don't think that Mbeumo comes out of the team for Sheshko. That's my gut feel. They're still coming, Tommy. I think they're waiting for Pep to leave. Then I reckon those charges are going to come home to roost, and then I don't know what they're going to do. But at this point, I don't think anyone really cares, because it's gone on that long. The Premier League looked like a joke. Man City, everyone knows exactly how they got there anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, it feels like it happened that long ago. Either just relegate them, or I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting. Maybe that's the only way Arsenal can win the league, is if Man City get relegated after Pep leaves, And then Arsenal surely can't bottle it the season after. In fact, maybe Man United might push them for the title. Then that'd be funny to watch, wouldn't it? Captain João Pedro, Haaland or Bruno currently on JP. Nice. I think you can go. I don't think you can go wrong with either of them this week. I think JP, Haaland and Bruno are all fantastic players this week. Glasner has totally packed it in. Palace asset. Yeah, I agree. He's 100% checked out. You know when someone's like leaving a job and they've got a job and they've got to serve out the rest of their time? He's checked out. He's literally on the beach waiting to leave Palace. I would not be surprised if he gets the boot between now and the next 2 weeks. I would not be surprised at all if he just leaves, because it looks like it's going a bit toxic there. The fans are now booing the team. The players don't look like they're playing for him anymore. It just looks, it's all gone south very, very quickly, which is sad to see because obviously he won the FA Cup last season and that was a real achievement. It's just gone. I feel like they just didn't back him in the summer and they sold all the good players. And I can see where Glasner's coming from. I feel like the owners of Palace have probably cooked it realistically. Do you think Arsenal has bottled the title? Yet they bottled it midweek. Now when we get to the end of the season, you can look back midweek, and that will be the moment where where Arsenal lost the title. Raya, Timber, Senesi, O'Reilly, Rice, Rogers, Semenyo, Bruno, Thiago, Pedro, Haaland, bench, Lafay, Mukiele, Van der Ven, your view, and one free transfer left. I don't think you need to make a transfer at all. I personally would be starting Mukiele over Timber, though. That's all I'd say. Rumours arrived that the Southern Vale managers created a backdoor into the game. That does not surprise me. I'm sure it's Luke. I swear he's going to be buying players. He's got players in reserve somewhere. He's going to pull him from somewhere when he plays me, and that's when he'll own up to the fact that he owns him. But I'm very convinced it's him. Timber, Gabriel, Munoz, Mukiele, Aja, please rank for this week. In terms of this week, I think it's Munoz, Gabriel, Mukiele, Aja, Timber in that order. Semenyo or Rogers for Madwakey? Either or. I think they're both great picks. I personally went with Semenyo. I had the exact same option as you. I've gone Semenyo. I just love what I'm seeing from him at the moment. And he was in good form at Bournemouth. He's in even better form at Man City. Our last game of footy, I went ultra defense in the last 20 minutes after going 1 goal ahead. Worked out well. Yes, if you go ultra defensive, it can be very hard to break down. I've versed teams that do that as well. Is Robot a hold for the rest of the season? Honestly, he is the best forward in the game still. Now, Nightmare was trying to come at me with like points per game. There's a number of forwards that are kind of matching him at the moment and stuff like that. I kind of disagree with that. I just think on a weekly basis, if he's starting, he's probably the most likely forward to score a goal. And people looking to sell him to bring in like Palmer or bring in Salah. Salah is going at 2.5 points per game less than Haaland for the season. Palmer's going at 2.1 points per game less than Haaland for the season. You're literally selling a better asset for an inferior one based on what's happened this season. It's a real risk, and I don't think it's a risk that's actually worth taking, if I'm honest. Morning, buddy. Bench 2 out of Gabriel, Chalobah, O'Reilly, Richards, Anderson. Oh, you're benching Anderson, and you're benching Richards. Yeah, Anderson and Richards, easy. Watch Arsenal bottle regardless, exactly. Raul to Creepy to upgrade Rice to Verts this week for -4. Don't mind it at all. Play Rice or Will. I love hits. People know I take hits more weeks than I don't. It's just ironically I'm not taking a hit this week because the team looks pretty good on paper, right? It should be pretty good this week. Play Rice or Wilson. Honestly, I feel like I'd play Wilson over Rice. I know Rice got me 14 points and I captained him and it was brilliant. But I sold him. I think I've learned my lesson from earlier in the season when I obviously had that Phil Foden I hopped on right at the beginning, the week he started going big. And I just wish that if I was quicker to pull the trigger to take him out. Because last year I took him out literally the first week he blanked. I actually took him out that week. Like I didn't actually cop any blanks from Phil Foden last year. And I feel like this year I just haven't been as on it. I feel like I've been a little bit too loyal. So this week, no loyalty to Rice. He got me 14 points as captain. He's on the end of season trip to Ibiza. He's been shown the door though. Yeah, I've been very smart I move early. I don't wait to the deadline to make my moves. Last season I did that a little bit. This season I've just moved. If I've seen a player that I want and it looks like they're going to rise in price, I've just bought them early in the week. If that means I have to move on Saturday night, I move on Saturday night. If it means I can move, in this case it was on Wednesday night post the Arsenal game, I move then to get the price rise. Ryan or Harry Wilson? It's got to be Harry Wilson for me. Matt Perry, Prime Arteta. Arsenal get what they deserve, rely too much on set pieces, don't score anywhere near enough goals from open play. Draws cost them in the last 2 or 3 years and will cost them again. Are you looking at JP to... I'm actually looking at Bowen to Thiago. Now, I'm going to pull up why. So Bowen's got Liverpool away, Fulham away, Man City at home, Aston Villa away. Arguably, outside of the Fulham game, after this week, not very good fixtures. Now, if we look at João Pedro, next week, Arsenal bottle job's up and about, so he got to actually be pretty good. Then it's Aston Villa away, not too worried about that. Newcastle home, not worried about that at all. And Everton away. And Everton have been crap at home. So I think arguably the better hold is João Pedro and the better sell is Jarrod Bowen. And I love Jarrod Bowen, but I think this is probably his last week of my team, maybe even for the season. So yes, that's my plan. Hi D, which one would you bench out of Sade, Krupe, Wilson? Krupe, all day long. You've been pushing Kirkes, good pick, but I think Frimpong coming back next week is better. Plus he has no comment. The problem I've got with Frimpong is... that he can't stay fit. The right backs for Liverpool just can't stay fit. So that's why I don't mind Kirkes. Bowen versus Enzo. Honestly, I'd probably play Bowen. Padney oriented, 115. He lost, didn't he? He got smoked again today, Gary. Did Gary lose? I'm pretty sure Gary lost. I'm doing pretty well, Fundles. How are you? What are your plans for Wilson? He dropped in price. I'm holding him. There's no need to get rid of Wilson. Like, I don't know why people are selling him. And like, for once, I actually agree with other content creators. If you're selling Wilson, you're either you think that he's going to lose his place to Oscar Bob, which I just don't think is going to happen, or you think that Fulham are going to go into relegation form because the fixtures in front of him are the kind of fixtures where he got 16 points and 10 points the first time round. I don't know why you'd sell him. So yeah, I've no intention of selling him. He'll go on wildcard. Wildcard 32, I will say, see you later, Wilson. Thanks for the memories. But until then, I will not be getting rid of him. Rad, Dubravka, Gabriel, Timber, Van der Ven, Chalobah, Senesi, Bruno F, Minte, Anderson, Rice, Wilson, Bowen, Haaland, Thiago, Winfrey, Bowen to Krupe Jr., Minte to Semenyo, Rogers. I wouldn't make those moves this week. It's not worth a -4. I think Bowen is perfectly fine this week. Perfectly fine. That's why I'm holding him. I would actually roll your team this week. Actually, no, I take that back. I would sell Van der Ven this week and I'd bring in Hill for Van der Ven. Even though you've already got Senesi, I'd just do it because Van der Ven's going to be no good moving forward, I reckon. That's just my read anyway. I just don't rate Spurs. I think Spurs have got 13 fit players. What can you really hope for? I think Spurs assets just need to be sold, unfortunately. Agree with Pedro assessment, playing a whole palm myself. Very nice. Would you start Dubravka over Henderson given Palace's form? No. It's still Wolves. Semenyo or Wirtz? And Dubravka's going away to the team that are actually performing in terms of the best attack in the league at the moment. So that just doesn't feel right. Semenyo or Wirtz, for me, for the next 4 game weeks, I actually think it's Semenyo. That's my gut read. I'm just very happy I've got both. If Haaland does play, do you think he gets the full 90? No. Unless it's like 1-1, 2-1 or something like that and the game's close, he'll then play 90 minutes. But if they're 3-0 up against Newcastle, he's 100% coming off. Fulham always capable of entering relegation form. Yes, they are. The Gary's paid up by the looks of it. Padney Orient, 4-1 Gearhinch. There we go. Bohemian. How very rude. Rogers captain Ra. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that someone else, what was it? I was watching the Golden Goals deadline stream before, and apparently FPL Tom, I'm sure that's his name, I'm sure that's what he goes by. He's captaining Rogers. I don't mind that shout. But for me, it's in that very first game of the game week, and if it doesn't go well, then it's not going to sit well for the rest of the game week, and that's what I don't like about it. Are we the same front seven, except I have Rogers and Ekatike instead of João Pedro and Mbumo? We're going to have a massive week this week. I have a good feeling. I'm hoping to get inside the top million this week. Start 2, bench 1. Watkins, Thiago, Rice. You're benching Rice. I've just bought my first player. Yes, Gary, who'd you buy? Wang? Did you buy a Wang? Thoughts on Semenyo captain? I don't mind it at all. I think it should be pretty good. Regret selling Rice? No, not at all. 50 rated striker, only 28. Oh my God, Gary's buying a 50 rated striker. Gary wants to win. Gary wants to win. The high rollers have come into that League 7 thing, and it's just a D unit's biceps bigger than Golden Goals Tom's shoulder. Yeah, my shoulders are small. My shoulders are actually, of all the things I train at the gym, shoulders are the muscle group I struggle with the most. I don't know why, but I just struggle with them. I don't know why that is. I just got weak shoulders. I used to play baseball when I was a younger kid as well, and that, I don't know, I always got a sore shoulder when throwing a baseball, so must be just weak genetics. Bought the ref. Honestly, Murat bought the ref today. How he got away with a 2-1 loss, and I had 20 shots to 3. 20 shots to 3. And I'm averaging 10 shots for a goal. It's just stupid. Farry, was he review recommended? I don't know. Did you run it through the algorithm? Did he check? There is actually sites to check that stuff, I believe. I think there's like MJ Informatics or something like that, and it has all like how a player's performed in every season for which club, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can read into. You know what I look at when I buy players in Footium? I look at the card, and I turn over, I look at their history, and I look at how many goals they've scored, how many assists they've scored, and how many games they've played. And if I like the averages, I buy them. If I don't buy them. That's what it comes down to. Obviously, if you're buying a brand new player in the game, it's obviously a little bit hard to read because you're just basing it based off potential. And in that case, I'm looking at the stamina. The higher the stamina, the more you can play them without them needing to have a game off. And then leadership. I don't know what that has to do with it, but yeah. D to set up Footy and Review. Howdy D, howdy Dan. I'm invented a Footy and Review. Look at the nose. There's a couple of players that got like mouths on their foreheads. It's actually really funny. I was like, I would never trust a player that has a mouth on their forehead. Legit. I just wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it at all. The games tonight, actually, I think are going to be interesting. I really think Man City batter Newcastle. I've got that as a pretty high-scoring game. Ironically, I saw some weird stats. So everyone knows I like putting a multi on my games that I watch and stuff. On the Man City Newcastle game today, these are the odds for score and assist markets. To score or assist, sorry, to make that clear. So over here, to score or assist, these are the odds. Erling Haaland, $1.45. So you'd suggest he's probably starting now. Omar Marmoush has come down to $1.57. So the bookies obviously think that he must be starting. Then it's Ryan Cherky at $1.72, Phil Foden at $1.80, and Antoine Semenyo at $1.91, which I thought was a bit odd. Because if I was just to bet on a goal scorer, I'd have Haaland first and Semenyo second. And yet, according to the bookies, they've got Semenyo in 5th spot. So do they know something that we don't? That Semenyo might not even be starting? Which would seem weird because he's been very good. Why on earth would he not start when they don't have a game midweek? That just doesn't make sense. Unless he's unwell. I just thought it was really weird. I thought that was a really weird thing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take Semenyo at those odds. $1.90. Thank you very much. I think he will score assists. That's why I bought him in. But I just was a little bit confused why there was 3 other City blokes in front of him, like Cherky, who I expect to start on the bench, Phil Foden, and Omar Marmoush. I was like, what? I was like, how's Semenyo on 5th spot out of those players? Best striker under 6.3 with game week 32 fixture. It's got to be Raul Jimenez. He's got, with a game week 32 fixture, you mean a game week 31? Game week 31's the blank, you absolute nonce. You goon, Luke. Mate, game week 31 is the one you want. I mean, Raul Jimenez has got Burnley in 31 and he costs like 5.5 mil. I'm going to hazard a guess. I'm just making that up out of my ass. He might not actually have that, but I'm pretty confident that that's what he's going to have. Wang 100, yes. Bowen captain, not today. I'm not that brave. I'm not going back to that well. It was painful the first time around. I'm not going there again. There must be a lot of inbreeding in the footy world. There's the only explanation for mouths on foreheads. Ray, Gabriel, Munoz, Hill, Rogers, Verts, Bruno Fernandes, Vice Captain, Enzo, Rice, João Pedro, Captain. Nice. Harlem, Bowen on the bench, Dubravka, Cash, Gay, he faults on the team. Well, I like your team. However, I would be starting Bowen over Rice. Yeah, I was just saying you've already got 2 players benched, like Cash and Gay. I think, yeah, I'd start Bowen over Rice and roll. Captain Semenyo, those odds put me off captaining Semenyo. I'm not going to lie, they put me off captaining Semenyo. People play them instead and bookies win. Yeah. True. I just think that, I just thought that was a bit weird. My move, my captaincy off Semenyo doesn't sound good going by those bookie odds. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was really weird. Like, I don't read much into stats, but I just thought that looked like a really good, I just think that he's highly likely to score or assist if he plays against that Newcastle team, but yet there's Phil Foden above him who's been woeful, Cherky, who I think is definitely a benching option, and Marmoush, who lots of people seem to think is going to be on the bench as well. Now, FYI, it's got Jeremy Doku at $2, and Pep pretty much ruled Doku out. So why the hell is Doku in there at $2 when Pep in his press conference? So either sports bet are just idiots and they don't know what they're doing. Actually, I take that back. I think Semenyo's perfectly fine. If they've got Doku behind him at $2 when Pep Guardiola basically said that Doku's out, I'm not sure why that's there. Yes, please smash the like button. Thank you very much, Sean. Start 3, Gabriel, Timber, Hill, Mukiele, Munoz. Gabriel, Timber, Hill, Mukiele, Munoz. You're benching Timber and you're benching Hill. You're playing Gabriel, Mukiele, Munoz for me. Haaland odds don't sound much better than Marmoush either. Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. But Marmoush has an exceptionally good record against... He's got a very good record against Newcastle. I was like, I'm looking at it. What's wrong with me? Yeah. All right, we're going to start a poll. Let's see who people are captaining this week. All right, who are you captaining? I'm going to put down who I think are the 4 best options that I think are highly owned. Now, if you've got... I'm just going to put JP or Palmer. Haaland, Semenyo, and I'm going to put Bruno. I'm going to put Bruno or Salah. Just because I think some people are doing Hail Mary plays, so I'm going to leave it at that. Get your votes in. Captaincy poll there. Who are you captaining? Is it JP or Palmer? I feel like it's either a Chelsea asset. I feel like a lot of people might be tempted by Semenyo versus Haaland, so I'm just going to leave it as... I feel like those 2 are 2 very different ones. The rest, I don't think, realistically, unless you're a very, 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 very brave person, that you'd captain anyone else out of that lot. That's my gut read anyway, this week anyway. Where are we at? Paddy Power got Semenyo 3rd. Okay. Marmoush is due a start, to be fair. Marmoush was 2nd. Okay, interesting to know. Thank you very much, Jojo. Good evening, Commando Chicken. Hope you're wrong about Semenyo. Took a -4. Oh, mate, I hope I'm wrong about Semenyo as well. I bought him into my team this week for Rice. So I'm backing him in to keep playing and keep playing well. So, yeah. Thiago captain for me. Oh, yes, I did. I forgot about Thiago. Yeah, you could definitely make a case for Thiago as well. If you are captaining Thiago, just write it in the chat. Sorry, I completely forgot about him. It's because I don't own him and I couldn't see him on screen. And I can't, yeah. I completely forgot about that one. Well, good shout. Good shout, Com. Captaining Bruno Fernandes. I like that. See, this is the other thing, right? There was some merit to it. I can't remember who I was listening to because I was listening. I like listening to FPL content when I'm at the gym because I'm just intrigued to know what other people are thinking, and not as I take any note of it other than disagree with it most of the time. But what I did hear today was like, I think that captaining a bloke that has potential penalties is an intelligent move because they can be having a crap game, like an absolutely crap game. And then all of a sudden their team wins a penalty and next thing you know, you've got a return and your captain's done well. There is some merit to that. That's kind of why I like Jared Bowen because he is on penalties now that Paqueta's nicked off from West Ham. That's why I think Bruno's the best asset in the game as well because I just think that him in that number 10 position on penalties is just elite. I mean, I probably don't have enough penalty takers in my actual team. I've only got Bowen, Fernandes, and Haaland. Like, no one else is on penalties in my team. It's only 3 penalty takers. I've seen a lot of other teams that have, like, Thiago. I am going to be bringing in Thiago next week, though, but that's probably going to be at the expense of Bowen. So I'm still only going to have 3. Like, I feel like that's why a lot of people are keen on, like, the Palmer. We've seen Palmer the last 2 weeks. He's got 3 penalties in the last 2 weeks. It does make a difference. It really does make a difference for sure. And there is definitely some merit to it. I'm just not... I think that's why, at the moment, I've got Haaland captain because it's Newcastle and I know what Newcastle are like. We've seen them go to Brentford away after the Champions League and they conceded 3 goals. We've seen them go away to West Ham after the Champions League and concede 3 goals. We've seen them at home post the Champions League and concede 3 goals. I think they concede at least 3 goals. And I know that Haaland's record's not very good against Newcastle. I'm aware of this. It wasn't very good against Brentford either, and that's why I captained Foden earlier this season. And we all know how well that one turned out. It didn't turn out very well for the D unit that day. A week too late for Igor penalty Thiago. How do you feel about Rodgers captain? Don't mind it. If you've got the balls to do it and you've got Rodgers in your team, I don't mind it. I think Leeds at home is actually a very nice fixture for him. We're pointing out that if Villa win today and Arsenal draw again tomorrow, Villa will only be 6 points behind them with a game in hand, which is absolutely insane. If Arsenal draw again this week, Man United, if they win their games in hand, will be within 8 points. 8 points. Man United could win the title if they can actually get the wins. Can you ask the card if I should do Bowen Thiago this week for a hit? Now, I asked it on the late mail yesterday whether that was something, because I'd wait up doing the exact same thing and it said no. Let's see if it says yes or no today. And look at that. It's still going, unfortunately, with no. So don't do it. Would you do Cunha, Trossard and Mane out for Ryan, Dango and Thiago? Yes, I would. I think you can easily make up 4 points on those transfers. Ice cold finisher. No, that's what I'm talking about. You must be a Cole Palmer fan if ever I've seen one. I transferred in Thiago for Bowen this week already. Will probably backfire. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like that's a move that's going to work really well next week. It's a move that I'm not excited about to do myself this week. Oh my God, I want to check out Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't want to get off the screen though, and my phone is being stupid. All right, here we go. What's going on here? All right, just cancel that. Get out. All right, where are we at? All right, Morgan Gibbs-White. Let me have a look at Morgan Gibbs-White. Add player. Gibbs-White. get rid of that. Let's have a look. All right, Gibbs White has got Liverpool at home. Don't like that. Brighton away. That's an okay fixture. Man City away. Don't like that. Fulham at home and 30 looks okay. Spurs away and 31 looks okay. Villa at home's probably okay. Burnley at home and 33. I mean, it's not a bad shout. I just think there's better midfielders, Luke. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be going there myself. I think it's too much money and there's so many other assets at that price point that just look better. That's mental as well, considering Arsenal are, 11, 12 points clear of City. I know, it's mad. If you had Palmer, would you captain him? Yes, is the answer. You reckon Cunha doesn't start? I personally think that if Carrick's got half an idea, he'll play Šeško because Everton are going to set up the exact same way as West Ham did, and Šeško made a big difference when he came on. I would be starting him, and to be honest, I think you can take your pick. Either Cunha gets benched or Amag gets benched. It's one or the other. My personal feeling is that Cunha played amazingly off the bench the last time he was on the bench, so I'd bench him based off that. That's just me, though. I don't know if he'll do it or not. Gabriel, Timber, Hill, Chalobah, Munoz, Rice, Bruno F, Semenyo, Enzo, Wilson, Thiago, Haaland, Pedro, bench 3. Frank O'Brien. I would bench Timber. Rice and Hill. Yep. Can't call Dina's bicep versus Golden Gom shoulder. Come on, this has got to be the bicep. Oh my God, it's gone with Tom's shoulder. Can't trust this card. Always throwing me under the bus. Haaland only scored 1 goal in the last 7 games versus Newcastle. I'm aware of that. Yep, that's a very good shout, Rob. What did Semenyo do against Newcastle earlier this year for Bournemouth? When did he play them with Bournemouth? He got nothing. He got defensive contributions against them and a clean sheet. So Semenyo against Newcastle the first time round was at home and he got defensive contributions and a clean sheet against Newcastle. He didn't score against them either. And Bruno did nothing against Everton the last time. Like, Everton's one of those fixtures I'm concerned about as a Man United fan. I'm very concerned. I just can't bring myself to captain Bruno again on Monday Night Football. If it wasn't Monday night, I think I'd be a bit more open to it. But when it's the last game of the game week and all your bets are on that man, and then if Man United stink it up and heaven forbid they lost 1-0 again, I think I'd just be about done with him. And I wouldn't want to be done with him, so I don't think I can do it. Nathan Collins causing me headaches, currently having benched with Alderete starting. Yep, that's a fair shout, Chris. Should I risk him or just play Alderete or transfer him for another Brentford? Honestly, I would just hold this week, bench him and play Alderete. I mean, Sunderland at home is... I'd have no doubts playing Sunderland at home. For me, I just can't bring Mukiele on. For me, it's Mukiele versus Gabriel. I've got to play Gabriel over Mukiele in that scenario there, I think. About time Haaland scores a hat-trick against them today, then. I agree. That would be very nice. How much easier is it to do these streams right now with a lot of people watching compared to when they become, mate? It was, yeah. Everyone's got to start somewhere, right? Literally everyone's got to start somewhere, Mr. Jonesy. And it's nice. I just enjoy talking to people, really. I take after Mum. Mum's one of those people that could sit there and go into an absolute unknown environment surrounded by 200 people, and she would actually go up and talk to every single person in there. And she'd have no qualms about it. She'd just go, hey, and then she'd just start waffling about something. And I think that that's probably where I pick up the trait from, to be honest. I took out Ahmad for Verts. Do you think I'll get punished? No. Mukiele or O'Reilly? I'd play O'Reilly. Sanchez or Kelleher? Damn, that's a tough call. You've got to play Sanchez. They're at home against Burnley. If you can't get a clean sheet against them, you're cooked. And he's going to be sold next week. Going Audi punt this week. Love it. Yes, Banjo. O'Reilly on Mateus Nunes. Who would you bring in? If I was bringing him in right now, I would go back and bring in O'Reilly because of the fact that he's playing in midfield. But if O'Reilly goes back to playing in defence, it's Mateus Nunes for me all day long. Yes, please smash the like button. Nunes has had his rest. Yes, he's had his rest. Unfortunately, at my expense, Sean, but alas, it is what it is. At least he got the assist before he went off, so it wasn't a complete disaster. That Everton United game is either 1-0 Everton or 3-4-1 United, written all over it. Exactly. I just can't call it. For me, I've gone with a 3-1 United win, but I don't say that with any great confidence. Bench Ryan, Rogers or Bowen? Ryan. Can you ask the card for Bruno captain? Desperate need for some card advice to save the season. Bruno Fernandes captain, yes or no? It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. The card doesn't like Bruno captain. Well, that's good. Now I don't feel like I need to do it. Now we can rule him out. Just rule him out. Did Nightmare wildcard? Yes, he did. Nightmare is on wildcard. Actually, I don't know if he's actually shared his draft in the group chat, but he's definitely pressed the button. What's he saying? He's shared nothing. Actually, I'm going to ask him. What's your current draft, Nightmare? Chatter asking. Chatter asking. I want to know. All right, let's find out. Let's see if he gets back to me. I've asked Nightmare. I've sent him a message in the group chat. And actually, I'll direct message him and say, oi, what's your wild card, mate? Okay, someone's complaining about the back gate to our Airbnb being locked. Unfortunately, the council don't like back gates that lead to pools in Australia. They're very stringent on those rules. And Ashley's just sent me a message saying, look what this person wrote. Listen to this. This is what comes. Right, so overall rating, they gave us 5 stars for the Airbnb. Sorry, I'm going to get back into people's questions in a minute, but I'm just going to have a little bit of a vent here. It's just about some people and just being whatever. So it says, overall rating, we really enjoyed our stay and the pool after a hot day sightseeing was very welcome. Fantastic. Then Ron goes on to say, private note, enjoyed our stay. Your helpful laminated card on the fridge gives the number for the rear lock to the alley. We frustratingly undid it, moved the car around to the back to unload, only to then discover the permanent lock above and below. As you would know, after a long drive to your new accommodation, this type of event is the last thing anybody wants. Thanks. All right, mate, turn it up. I mean, if you'd used your eyes, you would have looked at the gate and realised that it was bolted closed. I can't account for people that don't... I mean, maybe he needs a pair of glasses. Maybe I should... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just being facetious now. I think that's the word I'm looking at here. Maybe he just needs to put on a pair of glasses, look at the gate, and go, oh, that's a bolt. Oh, it can't get out. You would have thought to look. That's my vent over. He left 5 stars, so who gives a crap? All right, hopefully Nightmare gets back to me. Sorry, I've been completely thrown out by the missus sending me that. Bastards, complaining. Sunderland clean sheet and City conceding. I mean, it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. I'd avoid captains on the final game, given the mess by FPL and given that, yes, I agree with that exactly, Rob. Play Hill or Garner. I'd probably play Garner. Start Richards or Alterete? It's got to be Alterete. I know that Richards has got Wolves, but I think Palace concede. Suppose this is the sweet spot. If a stream is too small or it gets too big, I'd imagine it's difficult. Yeah, it is actually quite nice. There's been some streams where it's like I've really struggled to keep up and I've had to like go in hypo mode, but it's actually not too bad at the moment. Virgil or Nunes, Rayan or Enzo? I think this week it's Virgil, it's Nunes and Enzo. Next week it's probably Virgil and Rayan. Card Thiago captain, yes or no? Apparently the card likes the Thiago captain. There you go. Wore my amazing white D-Unit hoodie. Great quality to the pub last night and it's still white. Omen for a great game week? I reckon it probably is. Nightmare on Chai Stream. What? What's that? Who's Chai Stream? Don't even know who that is. Has he revealed his team? I don't know. I'm still waiting to hear from him. I don't think Nightmare needed a wild card, really. I didn't think so either. Has he sent me a message back yet? Oh, here we go. All right, so he sent it to me. Money in the bank for Palmer to Salah next week. Pedro bench for Gordon versus Everton next week. Pedro to become DCL at some point, I imagine. So this is just the notes he sent me as well. Defence is a risk, but Gabriel, Hill, Mukiele fine most weeks. Asia, great for DCs. Rodon, decent games in 31 and 33 if necessary. Could do Rogers to Anderson and Rodon to Virgil, but fancy chasing the upside. All I need is a captain to outscore Haaland each week and the gamble pays off. So what he's gone with is Kelleher in goal. He's playing a back three this week of Gabriel, Mukiele, Ajer. He's got Cole Palmer in as captain, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo and Rogers in a midfield four. He's got João Pedro, Thiago and Ekitike up top. And then on his bench, he's got Dubravka as the goalkeeper, Anthony Gordon as first sub, Hill as second sub, and Rodon third sub. I mean, it's a pretty good wildcard draft, it has to be said. I've just read that, and I've just seen Nightmare pop up in the chat as well. I haven't really got much to fault. I think it looks pretty good. And he's got 3.7 million in the bank. If he's got it right and Haaland is beatable, it's going to make mad gains. It's going to make mad gains. I actually quite like it. I'm not so sure if I'd move Palmer to Salah. I think you could probably move Palmer to someone else and just move the money around elsewhere in your squad next week. But outside of that, I think you're looking pretty good. It looks pretty damn good, I'm not going to lie. Smash the like, sub, and buy. We're going to improve the merch store, by the way. It's something to me and Luke. Luke's designing stuff. I've been slammed by work. Like unfortunately, this is not my job, and there's only so many hours in a day, and I try to get as much done as possible. But yeah, it is what it is. Where are we at? Lad in my cash mini league has raged after TC collapses. Who did he triple captain? He was third, but I'm third after default now. That's hilarious. Imagine just culling your team after a triple captain. I mean, I triple captain Haaland and I got a bench boost of 4 points earlier this season. Like, if anyone is due some luck outside a nightmare, it's me. In terms of my chip use, like, part of me is scared to bloody press the buttons because I just think it's not gonna work. Like, I legitimately believe my chip usage outside of the assistant manager is just cursed. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes. I feel like whatever I do is cursed with chips. This last season and this season outside of the assistant manager chip. It's insane. Nightmare wildcard. Oh, yes. Yep. Roger so far. Yep. Bench Croupy or Somerville. I'd bench Croupy. Somerville's going to start. Croupy, you just don't know. Triple captain João Pedro. I mean, if you want to win the game week score, 100%, give it a go. Darius said I was watching someone else and ticked my ego to steal me over. I love that. Should I captain Diego Dallo? No, don't do it. You don't supply bolt clippers? No, I don't. I don't supply bolt clippers, Colm, unfortunately. Gate, come on, Gate unit. Can't fix. I know, legit. Who to start, Senesi or Croupy Jr.? I would start Senesi. Did you hit the wild card? Yes, you did. Ask the card about Rogers captain. Rogers captain, I feel like I already did that one. And the answer is no, apparently, to the Rogers captain. Shall I captain O'Reilly? Potential clean sheet in DEFCON GA. Let's ask the card. No. I was going to say no as well, so that's good to know. Andrew, I hope the wild card is sorted. O'Reilly, Semenyo, Palmer, or Pedro captain. You've got Palmer. I'd captain Cole Palmer. Like, if you've got Palmer, he's banged the last 2 weeks. I know he's been heavily reliant on penalties. You've just got to back in the fixture. And Burnley at home should be a good attacking fixture for Chelsea. For that reason, it has to be Palmer captain, surely. Second in FPL a couple of seasons ago. Oh, okay. I still have no idea who he is. I'll have to check him out later. Benching headache. Bench 2 between Virgil van Dijk, Ekitike and Gravenberch. That's Gravenberch. It's got to be Gravenberch and Virgil. As a young Irish lad of Chinese descent, likes to play Maverick. That's what we like to see. No wonder Nightmare was in there. Maybe he thinks I've gone too commercial. No Haaland or Salah. Yeah, ballsy. I love it. Yeah, Charles, cool. Thank you very much. Would you consider wildcarding for Game Week 32? No. I understand that, but I understand why Nightmare's wildcarded as well. I understand the reasoning behind it. 100%. I'm not sitting there saying it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I just think when I look at my team, right, I think it comes down to how your team looks. And at the moment, I really like the look of my team. Like, look at the bench. I've got Canade, Wilson, Mukiele, Verbruggen on the bench. Like, if you're rocking a bench like that, I don't think you need a wild card. That's what it comes down to. So for me, I'm happy to let it roll. And when it comes to game week 32, I will be doubling down on low-owned players. That's the reason why I went Canade instead of Virgil, is because Canade is 3.3% owned and Virgil van Dijk is 20-something% owned. I will 100% be doing plays like that when I wildcard him 32. So, and I obviously still have the triple captaincy chip. So that is going to be a big differential in and of itself. If I can deploy that and get at least somewhere between 12 plus points, I'll be roaring home like a freight train. Hopefully with the D unit of the conductor's wheel. Thank you very much, Commando. You won't... yeah, mate. I feel like it's one of those things that once it gets going... The problem is, if I was in the UK, I think the channel would have grown significantly quicker because the game's based on a game that is played in the UK, right? Unfortunately, we're uploading this from Australia. So it goes out to like Australia first and foremost, and over here it's AFL Fantasy. Like I actually started doing some AFL videos last year. I'm going to do them on a separate channel this year, and I reckon I can probably monetize that channel based off that because this country is all about AFL. So, yeah, unfortunately the algorithm did not work in my favor, but thankfully I've found a couple of ways to navigate that over the last couple of months. Go early is gone like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think if you're going to go early 24, you've broken Murat. Murat's disappeared. Murat's left. He's no longer. I've beaten Murat at Footyham today, and he's not shown up. He's done a Rahi. Rahi and Murat are boycotting my stream today because they're both lost at Footyham today. Criminal. Absolutely criminal. Salah could be Verts and Boomo, Saka, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I feel like I'd be tempted by one of those other assets potentially. Animations. Hello, all. Timber to Virgil van Dijk, worth it? Yes. Just straight up answer. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yes. Bench Cash or Mukiele, I'd be benching Cash. Not by much, though. I prefer Verts over Salah regardless of price. Yeah, that's why I didn't own Verts at the start of the season, so I feel like a lot of people might be a little bit scarred if you started with him and you did nothing for what felt like, I don't even know how many weeks did he do nothing for? He did nothing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 weeks. 13 weeks of nothing. I mean, that would be enough to just put you off the never again list. So I kind of understand why people don't want to go there if you started with him because it would have been highly frustrating. TC Timber must have finished him off. Fair. Potato chips. Beyond wildcard, think I'd be happy without any chips. Yeah, fair. I agree. I think the triple captain chip's just boring. I think the bench boost is crap. I actually prefer the UEFA Champions League chips, like Limitless chip, Maximum Captain. They're just more intelligent chips. They're more fun. And manual subs. Bring in manual subs. Make the game... Get the clicks in on the weekend. The game could do so much more to boost engagement. And I'm sure the casuals would love it. Man, imagine you... All right, so for example, today, right? You captain João Pedro, and it's an absolute barnstorming success. Happy days. You sit there and you just watch the rest of the weekend. No problems at all. Imagine if João Pedro gets his ass sent off, you can then sub him off between at the end of the Saturday games, before the Sunday games, and you can change to a new captain. Imagine the amount of extra engagement the Premier League Fantasy, the website, and everything would get if you could do that. I mean, I'm genuinely shocked they haven't done it yet, because for me, it just makes a lot of sense to do it. Captain Cole Palmer or Haaland. If you've got Cole Palmer, I would captain Cole Palmer. I don't have him, but I would captain him if I had him. Selling for Rice and Thiago and for Haaland, thanks. Yep. Yeah, well, Who am I playing? I take it. Canada. I look at my bench every week and I think probably should be playing them. And then I look at who I'm starting. I go, well, who am I benching that's currently on field? I think Mateus Nunes has way more chances of attacking returns than Mukiele and Canade playing against a Newcastle team that's played midweek in Europe. I'm not benching Chalobah against Burnley. The only bloke you can make a case for benching in the back line is Gabriel. But then I look at Spurs, who have got 13 fit players, and think this will be the week where he gets the bullet header after everyone's triple captain fail. That's the way FPL works historically. So for that reason, I just think that... And I just don't... Because Wilson plays Mukiele, bench boost is just ruled out straight for me. I'm not going to be having clashes on my bench, on a bench boost. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I also think Forest score against Liverpool. So for that reason, I think I've got it right. With your Airbnb, do you do everything? I do it myself. I'm cleaning this. I'm cleaning that straight after this stream before the live watch-alongs later today. So I do it all myself. It's literally the Airbnb out the back pays most of my mortgage, which is quite nice. Benching Gabriel Saliba, I fully believe the bottle is here. Yes. Honestly, I can make a case for benching Gabriel for sure. Anytime, buddy. I respond to everyone. I apologize profusely if I ever forget to answer a question or a comment on my video. It's mainly because of the fact that YouTube has somehow stuffed it up in the notification wise, because I generally try and get for everyone. Sometimes it's a day later or 2 days later. This week it was 2 days later. I was so busy this week at work that I just found whatever spare time I had to try and answer people's questions and stuff. Goodbye, coach. To boost that. Yeah, exactly. I reckon it will. Need a bit of help. Who to play? Watkins, Rice, or Wirtz? I think you've got to play Watkins. My team is Sanchez, O'Reilly. Hello, good to see football and stuff. My team is Sanchez, O'Reilly, Gabriel, Timber, Bruno, F. I've fallen behind on the chat here. Bruno, F, Enzo, Rice, Thiago, my bench, Ruggan, Anderson, Senesi, Garner, Dawn, Enzo, and Rice to Wirtz and Wilson, Gameweek 28. Yeah, I think your moves in 28 look great. They're great moves in 28. And there's nothing wrong with either of those moves in Gameweek 28. I think your team looks pretty good this week as well. I think you're in a pretty good spot. It's not about need, it's about want. About time I got back to the big balls calls. Yes, Nightmare, that's what we love to see. I love it. Love the confidence. I love it as well. It's good. I feel like we almost lost Nightmare there for a little bit, where he went into that soul versus solio, and now he's realised that the game is so much more fun when you back in the soul rather than the solio. And the soul is winning out, and I love to see it. I still think Liverpool won't keep clean sheets. Defo not going back. Yeah, that's why I went for Canade. Because if they don't keep clean sheets, I don't want to be wasting 5.9 mil. Because I've already been there with Chalobah. I've already been there with Tarkowski. I'd rather the cheaper player. Up the Caston Rovers, yes. Maybe you should be boring. Analytic UK lab for larger view subs. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't watch me. I could not do what they do and make it boring. I like having an opinion if sometimes it's completely wrong. And I'll own it when it's completely wrong. But I think it's more fun to have... That's what I think. And there's no fence sitting here unless I can't make a decision. Then we defer to the card and the card picks for me. I'll play Martinez or Roofs. That is a difficult question, but I'm playing Martinez just. Captain Semenyo, don't be a sheep. Vandy Pandy, go Haaland. I'm actually more tempted to captain João Pedro if I'm being brutally honest with you. 16 or 17 game weeks or something. Cheers to you for replying to my message. As always, my friend. Murat just saw he lost. Yes! Cop it, Murat. Cop it. Bench Timber or Mukiele. I mean, you don't get this excitement about other stuff on streams when you're watching someone else. Well, I like to hope not anyway. Bench Timber or Mukiele. You got to bench Timber there. Sorry, I've just seen a message retracted. Don't know what that was, but sorry I didn't get there quick enough. I would love the AM chip back. It won't happen though. Towers. We'll think about, yeah. Southerns doesn't like AM, and that's not good for the AM chip, unfortunately. However, the casuals loved it, and I loved it, and I just thought it was brilliant, and I thought that they should have just kept it in. I thought it was just about the right amount of overpowered as well. And you need an overpowered chip, and it felt quite nice because it encouraged you to be different. Because if you played it safe, you got absolutely stomped on last year because it was all about the David Moyes, the Unai Emery, and the Oliver Glasner. What a biblical run that was, whereas the sheep and the safe analytics mob, they went for the slot slob double, and then they went for the then they went to Arteta, a lot of them, for the loss, which was absolutely hilarious. Start Garner or Saliba? I would start Garner. That bench going to bang, mate. I know, every week it bangs, sadly. It bangs every week. It's really... Manual subs would make FPL a million times better. It's insane that... Yeah, I know. One simple change. It can't even be that hard. Yes, bring back the assistant manager chip. It was so good. My bet is 3-4-8-5. Think you are underestimating the power of 3 away wins in a week on a team's mentality. Newcastle will score. That being said, I have benched Gordon. Yeah, well, there you go. People don't know how much YouTube notifications suck. I reply to people, though, through YouTube Studio app, but it only shows new comments. No, I know. It's so stupid, Nightmare. Quite often, someone's replied to my comment, and there's no notification. Unless you manually go and check, there's no other way of actually checking it. It's so annoying, because I would automatically reply to the reply of the reply, but I don't know if you've replied. It is tough. It's definitely tough. The tragedy of Solio and Prazius is a wonderful player here. Agree 100%. Card call. Will there be any last minute drama for Let's Talk FPL Andy today? Is he going to manufacture any drama today? That's a probably more accurate question. The answer is no. He's got no drama today. Let's see if he creates any. You're lucky I'm not in your league. I mean, I can't believe South Park drew last night. That watch-along was so frustrating. I mean, the opposition had 2 shots and scored twice, and I had 11 shots and scored twice. The definition of the game working against the D unit has to be said. Hey, Darius, ranked 380k. Nice. Also tempted to captain JP over Haaland, but if it goes sideways, I might drop to 1 mil. Yeah, that is the problem, right? I don't think Haaland's going to be as captain as people think, though. Like, I'm looking at that poll now. Haaland's 53%. What? JP or Palmer's 32, Semenyo 9, and Bruno Salah. So it really is a Chelsea asset or Haaland. Or maybe Haaland is going to be... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. By the way, that Arteta choke picture was absolute gold. Your late mail video gave me I can't even take credit for that. All those memes, I don't create any of them myself. Most of the time, Luke creates them. But yesterday, they were all from random people in the group WhatsApp chat. So if you haven't already joined that chat, I'm going to put the link in here now. That's where I get all this stuff from. Like I all the questions and stuff that I answer in videos and stuff like that, they all come from this. They all come from what I read in here. And I do quite often talk in there. As I said, though, I am an exceptionally busy individual. But I legitimately, if you send me a message, I will respond. You might not get the quickest response, but I definitely do respond. Hold on, where are we at? I'm going to quickly... that's the one. All right. So if you haven't already joined, there is the actual join code in the thing. But I'll make it really even easier for you. You can just click on that. Unlike Big Man Bakar, we don't charge 120 quid for the privilege. It's completely free. Completely free. You will get a message from me, though, asking why you're joining, because obviously a lot of people's names and numbers don't align to your YouTube name. So as long as you tell me who you are, we'll let you in. Oh, yeah, there's benches this week just look insane. They look insane. Every week I look at my bench and I go, I just hope it doesn't, I hope my players on field score enough points and I'm not regretting leaving the points on the bench. Thankfully, the last few weeks have actually done pretty well. Like last week, the only player that returned on the bench was Bowen. So that was not too bad. And that was only 5 points on the bench. Yeah. Cherky or Hughes? You've got to play Cherky out of those two. Last time I left a message for you, you replied, top fella. Yeah, he's really good. Nightmare's a bit like me. We do try as much as possible. And Gary does as well on the podcast. If you leave comments, we generally always try and respond. It's what sets us apart. Cartel knows who owns it. Last Thiago to play over Rice. Verts also, mate. Yes. Yeah, I'd play Thiago over Rice. And probably even over Verts. I'm going for Semenyo captain. Nice. Dango, Sade or neither? I picked Dango as my differential this week. I think Sade starts back on the bench. Just because he got suspended. That's my gut feel. I feel like I'd go Dango. Is it Gary, Darius, and Kunji later? Yes, it is. Sade, careful in the chat. A lot of them are nutters. Yeah, well, they're led by a nutter. I'm an unhinged nutter, 100%. Yeah. Afternoon, Gary. Watching 44 likes. Let's get it 50. Yes, please, Sean. Yeah, if you're logged in, please just help us out. Smash a like on the left-hand side there. Gary, I asked FPL Gallagher on his live earlier today if he would join you boys. He said he would love to. Very nice. Hi, Paul. This kind of stuff is why... Thank you very much, Willie Man. Lock in a watch along tonight. They always go well. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've been told I can't do a watch along tonight. I'm actually the FYI for later. We will be doing the Aston Villa Leeds game, the Chelsea Burnley game, the Brentford Brighton game, and then we'll also be staying on and doing the West Ham Bournemouth game. However, I'll be ending the stream there because we are going to do the lock-in during the Newcastle Man City game, and the D Unit's going to try his absolute hardest to not do a live watch-along and just respond to the chat. But I'll be watching. Does that make sense? No problem, Kevy. My pleasure as always. The Gary didn't ask my question when Pickle was on. King, Trig, and D don't want to know why they bench boosted a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at that. Like when Trig brought it up, because I don't actually follow who's using chips, whatever, unless people tell me. And I watch Trig's videos. Like I watch all Trig's videos. I watch whenever the pubcast is on and I'm not on, I watch it. And I always watch Nightmare's videos. I get very excited for all those releases. And if it wasn't for Trig, I would never have known that they had bench boosted because I just wouldn't have known. Because I listened to Raptors content, but he didn't say he was 100% playing the bench boost. He just talked about it. And I mean, they always talk. I'm pretty straight up. If I'm going to play a chip, I just tell you I'm going to play it and I play it. My first Footium season, how many games you need to win on average to get promoted? Depends on the league. In Division 8, you probably can't afford to lose more than 3. He's a good lad, decent channel, bit analytic, but I can tell he can take stick. Nice. I am to the list. I feel like it's Enzo's week to haul, but I'm an idiot who supports Chelsea, so don't trust my judgment. Gary absolutely bottled the tough questions with Pickle. I was sitting there. I actually think Pickle would have handled him really well as well. I think she would have been like, you know what? Yeah, shouldn't have bench boosted. It is what it is. I got no luck. And to be fair, she got no luck on her bench boost. That matter of fact, just no luck was involved for her team that day. So, yeah, just one of those things, unfortunately. It's just the way that it goes. The way that it goes. But, yeah, there's not much you can do about it. It was a bit like when I triple captained Haaland against Leeds. What game week was that? Game week 12, was it? No, 13. I was close. I mean, look at that. He blanked against Newcastle in game week 12. Look at that, though. He had 1.54 XG against Newcastle the last time. So he should not have blanked the last time. 1.54 XG against Newcastle. Now, if he gets anything like that tonight, he's probably getting 2 goals. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Because if he's getting 1.54 away at St. James's Park, I mean, you'd back him in to get something similar again tonight, you'd like to hope. With a little bit of luck. So unlucky. Could have happened to anyone. Could happen to me. It did happen to me. I mean, where was that week? Actually, let's go back and see the week I bench boosted, just because it was absolute jokes. Where is it? points. I played it in game week 7, I think, from memory. I mean, I've had a couple of good weeks this week. Hold on. What's going on here? That's not my team. What the hell's going on? I must have clicked the dud button. Hold on. There's a quick way of doing this, isn't there? What am I doing? I was bench boost. When did I play my bench boost? It was around here. 75, game week 8. Look at this. Look at that bench. I got 4 points on a bench boost. 4 points. And let's just have a look at these fixtures, right? So double Bournemouth defence had the Senesi, the DCs in there. They played Crystal Palace and they were 3-0 up. I don't know why I played it that week. Like, that's when Crystal Palace just weren't scoring many goals. I look back at this and I go, what was I thinking? Man City beat Everton and Reinders gets 1 point, comes off in the 58th minute. And then let's just talk about Krejci. Sunderland, this time we didn't know that Sunderland were going to be as good as they were at home. The dude scored an own goal. I mean, for real? Absolute bollocks. That's just... Sometimes you just can't win. That was me not winning, unfortunately. I did not win. I came off massively second best. I'm going to watch a deadline stream where I'm not under attack. I play Enzo Lafay or Mane. I would play Lafay over Mane. Don't you think it's risky to start a starving man? I mean, I'm scared Dango gets benched due to Ramadan. Again, for Bournemouth last year, he was benched every game during Ramadan, but that's when he was playing for Bournemouth. And they had Clivert, who was fit and firing. They had Semenyo. They had Tavernier. They had Evanilson. They had whoever the hell else they had. Brooks, Adams, the lot of them. They were all there, right? He's at a team now where they don't have the same amount of options. I think he starts. I'd be pretty shocked if he didn't, if I'm being brutally honest. Dubravka, Dewsbury, Hall, Richards, Alterete, bench boost, no. Dubravka against Chelsea is I wouldn't be expecting him to get more than 2 points. And probably less, because I think they'll concede a few goals tonight. I'm only messing. Where are we at? My team will be relegated tomorrow, and to make it worse, we play our local rivals Sunday, 12 p.m. kickoff. The scenes in the city centre, oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's not good at all. I'm desperate for a Brentford team late, though. I just realised the Man United game is 8 p.m, so Mbeumo will have eaten. Fantastic. Yes, the Krejci own goal, that was just... Sometimes, it's like some seasons, you get lucky, right? Like, I remember last season I had Isaac on the bench against Liverpool, and he got that goal and assist and got like 13 points, whatever it was. He got a huge haul. And then someone just didn't show up. Like Nicholas Jackson was benched the entire game against, I think it was Leicester or someone like of that ilk, because that's what Maresca was doing last season. That is the definition of just pure luck. This year, I've had the opposite. It's been complete unluck, if that makes sense. They're serious. Play Dango or Sheshko. The minutes are a doubt for both. I'd play Dango. For me, it's got to be Dango. I think there's... Sheshko, I'd have a lot more doubts about starting. I think he deserves a start, and if I was Michael Carrick, I would start him. But I'm not Michael Carrick, and I think, realistically, because he's the youngest, I think he's probably going to end up on the bench again. But I'd love to see him start against Everton. Should I play Alderete or Joachim Anderson? Oh, no, don't play Anderson. Sell him. Bench boost last week, got 27 points off the bench. Yes, that's what I love to hear, Muppet. That's a very nice bench boost. For Bruggen, Enzo, Senesi, Alderete bench boost. That's a better bench boost. I'd be very tempted by a bench boost if that was my bench. Like a Chelsea midfielder against Burnley. Bart Simpson, I mean, I mean, my team's not too dissimilar, to be fair. I mean, I've got Wilson again. If it wasn't for Wilson playing Mukiele, I think I would have pressed the button. I really think I would have pressed the button. I did look at other midfielders I could get. I just don't fancy them. And I want to keep Wilson because I think Wilson through to 31 when I'm going to wildcard him 32 looks incredible. So there's no reason to move him on. Verbruggen, Enzo, Senesi, Alderete. Yeah. Hi D. 4 for my mini league. Nice. I like Semenyo. Teams above me all have him. Yeah. How many points are you off first place? I suppose that's the key question. Because if you're fairly close and you think you can make up points in other areas of your team, it might be intelligent to go for Semenyo. But if you are significantly behind, it might be better to back against him. Play cash. Depends on who your other players are, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. I think he'll start today. I have Captain Thiago. Very nice. Press the button for Bart. Mate, it's just... Bart Simpson has been so frustrating to own, right? Thankfully, I benched him. I mean, between him and Sanchez, he's actually outscored Sanchez the last 3 weeks. And Sanchez's fixtures have been stupidly easy. The annoying thing is, like, look at these numbers for Brighton, right? You'd expect him to fluke a clean sheet in there. Like, that, other than that Man City game, which was obviously they conceded a lot of XGC in that game, but it's 1.33, 1.05, 1.2, 1.16, 0.72. He's conceded in every single one of those games. Like, Brighton just, they're the classic case of what I always describe as the Fulham virus. They just find a way to concede a goal. And that's Brighton. Brighton and Fulham, exact same team. They're not obviously called the same team. They've got different players, but they somehow contrive to concede when you don't expect them to. It's so frustrating to own. Honestly, I would not be buying Petrovic. I expect West Ham to win that game today. Sorry for any Bournemouth fans out there. I think that Jared Bowen's going to return tonight. That's why I'm playing him. That's why I kept him. I'm pretty confident on that one. You'll even see like the live watch along later is called, I don't know, what did I call it? Bowen's final foray, or what did I call it? Bowen, you star. He better be a star. He better be a bloody star. He better not be a flop. He better not be a flop. I've had enough of him. I mean, if he flops, he's probably going to be sold tonight. He actually will be sold tonight if he flops and Thiago bangs. By the way, does Thiago do Ramadan? I don't know which players do. I'm not really all in the know with that, so maybe someone can... Yeah, it's not something I've actually researched, if that makes sense. If there's one keeper I'm confident about keeping a clean sheet, it's Kelleher. Brighton attackers shambles. Yep, I would agree with that. And particularly, Wang, probably. Oh, mate, Wang. I had a bloke... So I'll tell you a funny story about Wang. So on Footium, obviously they've been sponsoring the channel this week. I bought a bloke called... Where is he? Turn that off. My phone's just turned itself black because it's 9 p.m. and it's telling me to go to sleep. I'm not going to sleep for a long time, phone. Get used to it. So I bought a bloke called Jin Sung Wang. Like literally Wang. W-H-A-N-G. A-N-G. So I started him first game of the season. The idiot gets himself an assist, and he's the captain, right? So his leadership is meant to be 89. He gets himself an assist and gets sent off in his debut in Footium, right? So I was like, all right, well, if you're going to get yourself sent off, I'm going to put you into training. So I put him into training. What does the stupid Wang do? He gets himself injured in training, and now he's out of action until tomorrow. So Wang has been absolutely wanking. Like, just pathetic effort from Wang. Best differential captain, Bowen or Thiago? It's got to be Thiago. Bowen's last stand is the better name for it? Yes. Actually, I might need to rename it. Thank you very much, Nigel. Where's my pen at? Where write that, not jot that down. Where is my pen? I've got a pen in here somewhere. I write stuff down that I need to. Ah, there it is. Hopefully, oh, Jesus, what's going on there? Get that off. No, I don't want to open Microsoft Edge developer tools. Do I look like a developer? No. Hopefully, Bowen brings out the hammer later and says, let's hammer our way into the top million tonight. That would be nice if Jared Bowen could do that. Hopefully. Haaland not travelled with squad, apparently, according to Twitter. Oh, mate, Twitter love it. Twitter froth it. There'll be rumours about Man City all up until the deadline because that's just what X is all about. In fairness, like if Haaland's out, that's probably good because it means my bench will get used. I can't see anything on here that says he's not travelled with the squad though. Yeah, I'm not Yeah, I can't see anything on here. I wish I could, but it's just people's teams. A lot of people's teams. There's not a hell of a lot else. My team quite stacked. Munoz, Virgil, Chalobah. This is what I like to see. Stacked teams. Ekitike is Muslim apparently. Okay, interesting. Thiago is not Muslim, I think. Okay. Thank you very much. He bought Ref RE. I can't. Munoz, Virgil, Chalobah, Gabriel, Timber, Bruno, F, Semenyo, Wilson, Rogers. Mate, your team's like mine. Who are your goalkeepers? JJ Sue. I think I'd actually play bench boost if I had your team. Depending on who your goalkeepers are, I think I'd bench boost your team if you've got the chip, based on what I'm looking at. Otherwise, I'd be benching Timber, Wilson, and I think Gabriel. I think I'd bench Gabriel, Timber, and Wilson if I didn't play bench boost for your team. The wank. Hello, Simon. How are you, buddy? Hey, Darius, would you still keep the armband on Haaland if there's rumours closing to the deadline about him not starting? No, I'd probably take it off him. I'd probably give it to João Pedro, to be honest with you. Had a busy week and left captaincy on Creepy Jr. Nice. Bowen has gone for me after this weekend's games. Yeah, he's probably the same for me. Haaland hasn't travelled because they're at home. I have no doubts he starts. I've got no... Yeah. Still half an hour to change it. You can just use a one-off the other 80 players you have that Sam gifted you. Don't crease my miniature shirt, do you? Isn't City at home? Yes. Pep will play robot. Why wouldn't he? They have the chance to close. I know. What Nigel said. Man City don't play a game midweek. They play tonight and then they play next Sunday. Pretty sure it's next Sunday. I'll just double check with that again. 28th against Leeds. Oh, sorry. They play next Saturday. So they play Saturday and then they play again next Saturday. There is zero reason for him to be benched tonight. Absolutely no reason for him to be benched. At all. What do you think about Crystal Palace assets like Sarr and Munoz? I think if you've got them, you keep them this week and then you sell them. If you don't have any Palace assets, I wouldn't be interested in buying any of them. Afternoon, mate. Salah captain this game week. Took Haaland out at currently 112k. If you never see me in the comments again, the gamble didn't pay off. I love it, Josh and Ellie. I hope it goes well, mate. City at home tonight. Is Haaland your captain 100%? Yeah, I think he probably is. I can't believe I'm just going to be pretty boring this week with the captaincy. I just, for me, it comes down to who they're playing. and Newcastle were just really bad. After they've played in the Champions League, they are atrociously bad. And for that reason, that's why I want to captain a City player. And Haaland's on penalties. That's why he's the captain. Yeah, I reckon he probably comes off early. Wouldn't be surprised if he came off around about the 70th minute. Wouldn't be surprised at all. To score absolutely 0. Yeah. Deadline a little over 20 minutes. People, get your teams locked in soon. D-Unit, start which two of Wilson, Saliba, Krupi Jr., Hill, Mukiele? Which two? I would start Mukiele and I think Bowen scores, so I'm going to have to say Saliba. Or you could just do the fun pick and play Wilson and Mukiele and bench the rest. I think West Ham are in better form than people give them credit for, and I think they'll roll Bournemouth tonight. No, risk averse. I just think Haaland's the best. I normally pick players that I think are the best captain, and I thought at the beginning of the week that Haaland was the best. And I think João Pedro is probably a very close second, but he plays in the first game tonight, and I don't like captaining in the first games. So that's why he's ruled out. I'm superstitious. I mean, that's why I captained Bowen a couple of weeks ago for his 2 points, because of the fact that I thought Bruno was the best captain, but he played in the first game of the game week, and I just don't captain in that game. So, yeah, it might bite me in the ass, but that's what I'm going to do. Definitely not risk averse, that's for sure. And that's why I bought Canade instead of Virgil van Dijk. That's why I've gone for Semenyo as well, because of the fact that most people would not be buying Semenyo when he's blanking in 3 weeks' time. That does not worry me at all. Suchek and Bowen work well. Yep, I agree. My wild card is Raya, Roofs, Virgil, Gabriel, Mukiele, Hill, Mbumo, Gahi, Fernandez, Wirtz, Semenyo, Sarr, Ekiteke, Thiago, Krupa. You've got, if you're wild carding and that's your team, you have a lot of issues in game week 31. You've got Raya, Gabriel, Gahi, Semenyo, Sarr. That's 5 players blanking in 31. You're going to have to waste 2 transfers on that already. Yeah, I've just put 1 bet on that today. It's a multi. I put a bet on Aston Villa to win. I can actually read it out. It's a pretty short one today. So Aston Villa to win, Chelsea to win, West Ham to win, and Jared Bowen to either score or assist, and then Man City to win, and Erling Haaland to and Antoine Semenyo to both score or assist. So they don't have to do score and assist. They've just got to do one of the 2 of them. So I'm backing in those 3 players and those 3 teams tonight. I'm steering far away from the Brentford-Brighton game. I've just got a sneaky suspicion that's going to be a draw. And I'm not betting on the... what's the other game? I'm missing one in there. No, I'm not. No, I've got 4 games. Bet on 4 games, 3 players. Paying a decent amount of money, those odds as well. West Ham to win 3-2. I've got them winning 2-1, but 3-2, happy days. Jared Bowen surely gets a return if they win 3-2. Should I keep Saka? You can keep him a couple more weeks if you wanted to. I wouldn't be surprised if the minutes are managed again, though. Should I play today both Gabriel and Saliba? You can if you want. Depends on whether you think Arsenal keep a clean sheet. I just think because it's away at Spurs, they don't, which is why I sold Timber and Rice this week. But Gabriel, I can understand people are looking at selling him, but he's just so good in the air off the set pieces. It'd be pretty hard to go without him, I think. That Tate cast is a decent player, so he'll probably do something against Bournemouth, yes. He's looked actually really good. I've been very impressed by him. Got to start 2 of Saliba, Mukiele, and Sarr. All right, if you need to start 2 of them, I'll be starting Mukiele and Sarr this week. -4 to replace Timber with Virgil van Dijk. Yet, don't mind it. Castellanos. I don't know why it spaced his name out. Fair. Is Maguire starting? Apparently he's fit and he's trained. I'd imagine he probably starts. Everyone me at the top of my mini league have had Semenyo. I've been punishing me for weeks. I've been forced to transfer him. Just need to stop the bleed. I have no bench boost and I have Donnarumma and Dubravka. Oh, mate. Yeah, okay. I benched the 3 players I said. I think it was Timber, Gabriel, and Wilson. and I'd play the rest of them that way. Which website do you use for betting? I just use Sportsbet because it's on the phone. When Semenyo played, he moves right up next to Haaland up front when they have the ball. No brainer, assuming he currently actually keeps starting. Yep, fair. Should I play both Gabriel and Saliba today? Please tell. I think if you can play, depending on what your other defenders are, which I don't know because I don't think I've seen them. If you think Arsenal keep a clean sheet, you play them. But for me, I just don't think they do. And yeah, I wouldn't keep Saka either, to be honest. It depends on your team, like, because I haven't seen the rest of your team. In isolation, you'd have to say that, you know, he's not a priority sell, but he's definitely a sell at some point soon. Yeah, and he is a high likelihood of getting injured, let's be fair. Would you start Kanate or Senesi? I would start Kanate. The floor of Rice is pretty good for the next 4 weeks. I agree. He's probably going to average about 4 points per week. I've no doubts about that at all. I'm chasing the upside score, which is why I bought in Semenyo. I think Semenyo can score a few goals over that period of time, which means he'll score more points than Rice. That's my read. Do you think Palace will keep clean sheet and should? No, I don't. I'm actually predicting that game to finish 1-1. I start Mukiele and play a 4-3-3 or add Enzo to play 3-4-3. Also, who do I captain? I have Haaland, Semenyo, BRUNO. Mate, you've got the same captaincy options as me, and I've got Haaland captain. So, if you're a gambler, I would captain João Pedro, and you don't mind captaining in the early kickoff. And I know it's not the early kickoff, but it is the first kickoff of the game week. That's why I'm not captaining João Pedro. If the fixtures were reversed, right, and Man City were playing Newcastle at 3 p.m. and Chelsea were playing West Ham, not West Ham, against Burnley at 8 p.m. tonight, I'd have João Pedro captain. But because it's the other way around, I've got Haaland captain instead. And I'm very superstitious about that, and I say it every week. I know that quite often I leave points behind because of that, but I just don't like doing it. That's just how I play the game, unfortunately. Do you ever play Sky Super 6? No, I don't, unfortunately, Matthew. If you could only have one, who would you have, Semenyo or Wirtz? I'd probably have Semenyo in the next 4 weeks, Wirtz after that. Creepy Jr., Mukiele or Wilson to start? It's got to be Mukiele. Wolves to beat Palace? They actually might, they could be. Should I play Maino over Rice? No. Transfers are Timber to Hill. Nice. Creepy to Thiago. Very nice. Meaning I play a 3-4-3 with Kelleher, Gab, Chalobah, Cash. Good back three. Bruno F, Rice, Enzo, Saab. Pretty good midfield. Haaland, captain, Ekatike, Thiago. Brilliant. Yes, 3 p.m. will be back. 3 p.m. will be back. I've actually managed to figure it out so I can do... Obviously, South Park start at 3 p.m. this season at the same time as the watchalongs. I managed to figure out how to get everything all on one screen. Hopefully, you'll like what I've done with it because I reckon it's taken me a while to put it together today. And hopefully, with a little bit of luck, it looks pretty sick when it comes out at 3 p.m. Would you play Calafiori? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'd sell him. I think you convinced me West Ham have actually been really good at scoring goals lately. Senesi probably gets his DC, but will concede 1 or 2. Might get an assist. Yeah, true. Bench is also for Bruggen, Hill, Gahey, and Miley. Yeah, your bench is fine. Actually, yeah, your bench is fine. I wouldn't change anything this week, I don't think. No. Should I start Garner or Anderson? Garner. If you've got Anderson from Fulham, you should sell him. The dude has not kept the clean sheet. Actually, I could tell you how long it's been since they've kept the clean sheet. Fulham have not kept the clean sheet since game week 18. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game weeks. They've forgotten how to keep a clean sheet. Anderson can 100% go. I know the fixtures look really good for Fulham. They've forgotten how to defend again because they've had some easy fixtures in there and they've conceded. So for me, the Anderson abort train is officially being led by the D unit once again. I'm really considering selling Haaland, but scared to do it. His ownership is crazy. His ownership's coming down. He's not as highly owned as he was, 67%. It used to be 74%. So it is coming down. I think he's fine to sell. Like if you've got a plan to sell him, sell him. If you need the money, spread it around. You can definitely take him on at the moment, I feel. I have Mukiele instead of Calafiori. Yep, I'd play Mukiele. Super 6 not available outside UK. That's unfortunate. Already have Gabriel. Come on, play the game and captain JP. Yeah, nah. He's in the first lot of games. As I said, if he was in like that West Ham Bournemouth like time slot, I'd play it on him. But he's not. He's not. What 3 defenders to field out of Gay? I mean, if he bangs, I'm going to be happy anyway because I've got him in my team. So I'm still obviously hoping he bangs. You should show the Prem Games D. Go all in for viewers. I can't show the Prem Games. I get shut down for copyright. Also, it won't let you stream it. So Streamlabs automatically detects when you're watching a game on the screen, and it'll show a black screen. It won't actually show you. It won't actually show the game. Draft League, I have Jorgen, Strand, Larson, Bowen, and Thiago. Don't want to bench Bowen. I'm hoping at some point they actually source me out to people to do watch-alongs, and maybe they get me on to do them. That'd be pretty sick in the future. A little bit of luck out here in Australia. That'd be pretty sick if Stan Sports got fan watch-alongs on or something like that. That'd be pretty sick. I reckon people would prefer that than the actual commentary they do on the actual things. Jorgen, Strand, Larson, Bowen, and Thiago. Don't want to bench Bowen. I'd bench Jorgen, Strand, Larson. My team's a 3-4-3. Kelleher, Gabriel, Chalobah, Mukiele, and Bruno, Semenyo, Enzo, Haaland, JP, Thiago, and Saliba. Richards and Anderson on the bench. Who would you play from my bench to the 11? None. I think you've actually nailed the bench. Bench 1, Enzo, Bruno, Sarr, and Bumo Rice. Haaland getting price drops. Yeah, he is. That has brought that idea into my head because of that. Enzo, Bruno, Dango, Anderson, Sarr. Don't want to bench any for Jorgen, Strand, Larson. Yep, I wouldn't either. Except Anderson. That's the only one I'd even consider benching. No BS, Sade or Dango. Dango. Transfer captaincy to Sarr. Risky. Don't mind a risk. Who would you captain? I have no Haaland, mate. 112 rank. Salah, Ekitike, Bruno F, Watkins, Enzo, Origins. If you've got Salah and Bruno F, it's between those two. It's between no one else. I think if you've not got Haaland and you've got Salah, you've almost obliged to captain him at this point. The problem with selling Haaland is a lot of forward suck this season. That is the 100% reason why I'm not doing it. Daniel Thomas, I have a massive benching headache. Pick 2 to start out of Gay, Timber, Mukiele, or Thiago. I'm definitely leaving points on the bench, but kind of think about it. His team looks good. Yeah, that's fair. I'm in the same boat, mate. So I would bench Timber. And I'd bench Gahey. I think I'd bench Gahey and Timber. What 3 defenders to field out of Gahey, Cash, Chalobah, Hill, and Gab? Chalobah, Cash, Gab. Would you do Rice to Verts this week? Yes. Play Nico O'Reilly over Alderete? Yes. Saturday 3 p.m. UK Premier League games may be shown live in the UK next season. That'd be pretty sick. Why isn't Bruno Fernandes more of a captaincy option? Because it's Everton. Which 2 would you... I mean, just look at the last fixture. It was 10 men and we couldn't beat 10 men. Which 2 would you bench? Gahey, Richards, Rice, Timber, Mukiele. Timber and Richards. Jorgen, Strand, Larson on bench. D-Unit, the best pubcast ever. Thank you, my mate. Would love to see Sheshko start this. I would love to see him start as well. Richards, Enzo, Mukiele, and Saliba start 1. Mukiele. Actually, no, I'd probably play Enzo. Got to go the attacker. I'm always a play attacker. I'd rather... Whenever I play more than 3 defenders, I always get a little bit nervous, so I'm going to have to say Enzo. They're just my superstitions. I mean, lots of people the other week captained Bruno Fernandes in that early game against Tottenham and got 10 points, and I got 2 points from Jared Bowen. So it's just my personal superstition. It's like whenever I play a game of football, I'm very fundamental about a couple of different things. One, this is going to sound really weird, but I believe in... I'm very superstitious like this. If I'm not wearing the exact jocks or underpants, whatever you want to call it, pants, what they call them in the UK, I don't think I'm going to have a good game. I have to wear my lucky pants when I'm playing football. I know it absolutely makes no sense at all. That's just how I operate, unfortunately. Best Calafiori replacement have 5.7 million of Chalobah, Richards, and Mukiele. It's got to be, well, Calibre, Richards and Mukiele. I'm assuming you have Gabriel as well, would be my guess. It's probably a Liverpool defender, and you can't afford Virgil, so it's probably Canado. Well, oh, you get O'Reilly as well. You haven't got any other City assets there. You could get O'Reilly. You could get Mateus Nunes. They're all pretty good assets as well, provided you haven't got too many players at blank and 31. Would you start Alderete over Chalobah? No. Burnley is the easiest fixture in the game at the moment, so you've got to back it in. Trust me, I've played Chalobah the last 3 weeks of Sanchez. I've wanted to pull whatever hair I've got in my head out, straight back out again, but I haven't. And I'm playing it one last time and I'm just hoping that somehow it comes in miraculously and Chalobah can reward the faith of like a goal and a 17-pointer. That'd be pretty nice. Is JP a sell after the Burnley game? No. I think my thoughts are I'm going to sell Bowen rather than João Pedro. Like 31 against Chelsea, 31 for Chelsea is Everton, which feels a lot nicer than what Jared Bowen's got. So I think that's realistically what I'm going to do at the moment. I really hope Chalobah and Bowen go big today, so do I. What cheap defender to get for Chalobah in Gameweek 28? Anderson, Cons or others? You could look at Hill, go all the way down to 4 million. He looks pretty good. I have Gabriel yet fair. Legend, how you doing? I'm pretty good. Benji, how are you? Which goalkeeper to field this week? Kelleher or Verbruggen against each other this week? Yeah, I'd play Kelleher because he's at home. Card tell call, commando unit or Y front unit? Y front unit. One of them is a guaranteed 10-pointer. Sarah Rogers, who would you captain? I'd have to go with Aston Villa and they're in better form. Say your piece, Haaland or João Pedro? I'm going to go listen to the D and it's the best. I'm going Haaland because he plays later on in the day. That's pure and simple. There's no other logic. Actually, let's ask the card. Let's ask the card. The card was right last week. It said Rice over Gabriel. The week before, it went Bowen over... Who was it? Who was the other person I had that was on the offing? It got it wrong that week. So the card has stuffed me over 1 week, 2 weeks ago, and it came in big last week. So let's ask the card. João Pedro versus Haaland. Who should you captain? Well, the card reckons you should captain João Pedro. There you go. The card reckons you should captain João Pedro. 21k on fire, man. Thank you very much, Benji. Yeah, I know, it's actually surreal that. I don't know what's happened this week. It's insane. Erman, how are you? Captain Bruno, JP or Haaland? I would captain, well, I've just literally talked about it. I'm not captaining Bruno because I'm a Man United fan. I'm superstitious about the fact that he's burnt me twice as captain on the last game of the game week already this season, so I'm not going to do him. And I want to do it on Haaland because he plays later in the day compared to João Pedro, but the card reckons you should play João Pedro over Haaland. So I'm going to back against the card this week. I reckon it's full of crap. There we go. I said it. One, okay, you only have Haaland and Gabriel blanking. Oh, that's fine then. Oh, yeah, I just think that O'Reilly's got higher upside, and so does Mateus Nunes. I think they've got higher upside in the way that Pep likes to play. Last 6 weeks for the top 5 scoring players, Pedro 49, Palmer 44, Bruno F 44, Somerville 43, Semenyo 39. That's insane. Let's ask the cards. Semenyo versus Haaland. Semenyo versus Haaland. This one will be more in clean. Oh, well, now it's picking Haaland over Semenyo. There you go. I go TC Palmer. Let's go. Also, Rice blanking. Have you considered Robinson from Fulham as Chalobah? I have, but he just hasn't been confirmed for like the starts. I loved him. Last season I had him for so long. I bought Robinson twice last year. It was brilliant. Way better than bloody Joachim Anderson, I can tell you that much. Card Dango versus Sade. It's gone with Sade. It was Bowen over JP. That's right. And I got cooked because JP got 8 points and Bowen got 2. That's right. Oh. It trolls me every other week. So I'm backing against it this week. Question about who to get when they sell Chalobah. I think Aja is a massive differential. He'd be my number 1 replacement for Chalobah. Yes, Aja is brilliant. I think he's really good. He's definitely on my shopping list. I'm listening to you, champ. JP is my captain. Hill or Gahey first bench? Gahey. Why aren't you captaining Semenyo if you think Haaland will get subbed early? Because I think he can score a hat-trick before he gets subbed. Ask the card, Bowen versus Haaland. Haaland. Semenyo for sure outscores Haaland this week. Well, the card doesn't think so. I'm not sure. I think it's pretty close. I have Raya and Dubravka. I actually have thought that Haaland's looked okay the last couple of game weeks as well. For a while there, he looked bang average. The last couple of weeks, he's looked sharper. I know he played 45 minutes against Fulham, but he looked pretty good in the 45 minutes. Thinking of bringing Keller in for Dubravka to bench boost in game week 30 with Elliot Anderson, Mukiele and Hill also covers Raya in 31. That's fair. Ask the car Bowen versus Thiago. Now, I asked this about it yesterday and it picked Bowen and it's picking Bowen again. So the card is sticking with its decisions from yesterday. Your recommendation of Audi as a player to look at. He scored 34 of his 55 points. I know. That's why I said no one's talking about Audi, whatever you want to call his name. He's been in just as good a form for even longer than Rayan. And I just don't see him losing his spot. I actually think they're both pretty good picks. But the only problem is that Tavernier is due to be back. So that's problematic. Yes, you've got 3 minutes to go. Thank you very much, Simon, for reminding us all. 3 minutes to lock in your teams. My timer is slightly in front. Actually, it's not that much in front, but it's, yeah, you haven't got long. You haven't got long. Make sure actually, let's just refresh my team to make sure I've saved it correctly. Pretty sure I have. Yep, there we go. João Pedro is so highly owned, 47.8%. Mad. 67. I don't think Haaland's going to be captain as much as we think either. Audi. Audi. Start Rayan or Creepy? Rayan. Zaka being back increases Sunderland chance of a CS. I agree. A roof sonar of hope. Yes, that is very true. I forgot about that. I own no Man City players praying for a 1-1 Bernardo Silva goal. Haaland missed penalty in the Salah hat-trick. Love it. Audi and Rayan play off the wings and Tavernier is more central. Yes, he is. He could play off for number 10. You are dead right, XTP. Audi is good, but I would go Ryan. Audi plays for my national team. Do not fall for him. He is inconsistent. Fair. He banks for 3 weeks and goes to sleep for 5. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. That ain't happening. It's going to be intriguing. I'm intrigued to see how it all plays out this week. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And yeah, we're back. We're back in literally an hour and 20 minutes time for the live watch longs, which are hopefully going to be a weekend full of excitement. Hopefully lots of points around as well. I went for Dango. There we go. So he's going to be back. Up the Dango. Dango's the D unit differential. I hope he goes big for you, Gary. The Gary View pick. He's finally listened to the D unit. The D unit going Dango over Sade. Picking him. I reckon that's what it is. Gary went back. He looked at the pubcast. He looked at D unit's reasoning behind why he liked the Dango pick rather than the Kevin Sade. And he thought, you know what? We're going to just put review back in the basket there for a little bit. We're going to tune into a bit of D unit magic and hope that the D unit's called this one correctly. Watch and see Leeds beat Villa. We'll see. Best of luck. All right, we've got 1 minute to the deadline. It's 9:29, so we're about 1 minute away from this stream coming to a close and me putting on some washing before it's all too late. Actually, it might be too late to put it on anyway. Actually, I might do that. Actually, no, I'll put it on and then I'll pull it out at half time. I'll figure out something. No, I don't know what I'm going to do. I know when I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put the washing on. When the stream ends, after the watch along, and I hop on the lock-in, and then during the lock-in, I will check the washing and hang it out. That's the plan. That's the plan. What happened to the old D unit? The D unit is here. We're up and about. We're sticking with the original decision that I had at the beginning of the week, which was Haaland captain against a Newcastle team that had been away at Karabag, that conceded a goal against Karabag, that performed woeful away from home in the Premier League this season, conceding 3 goals on multiple occasions to Brentford, to West Ham, to probably Man City later today, and who are absolutely atrocious without Bruno Guimaraes in their team against Premier League opposition, except if they're not Aston Villa. I'm backing in. I'm backing in the Haaland domination today, baby. We are ready. I can't believe I'm back on the Haaland train. I mean, the last couple of times I've been on the Haaland train, it sucked ass. So I probably just cursed him and he's probably going to get a blank. Either that or he hopefully just doesn't show up and João Pedro goes nuclear and scores like a hat-trick and I'm looking lovely. But yes, deadline, there we go. We can also pray, brother. Salah 20 point incoming, Haaland 0 point, Semenyo and red card. It's happening. Haaland's got a blank against a frustrated, angry, riled up Newcastle, potentially. Yes, please like and subscribe before we all leave. There was something about Dango and being rested more during Ramadan. Yes, there was. Locked. Now I know why D-Unit shirts are so small. He shrinks them. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Dango is fasting, bro. He will be sharper mentally but weaker physically. This week, it is the sheep unit. This week, the D-Unit's going inside the top million teams, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we're going to celebrate. Celebrating getting 20k subs by getting inside the top million teams at Gameweek 27. That's what's happening this week. That is what's happening this week. Up to 9k in the world. Did Timber to Dubravka to Keller to Hill for free and playing a bench boost at Keller, Rice, Mukiele and Hill. That's pretty good. Good luck, buddy. Hopefully you get even further up into the rankings. Sarah Rogers, let's see what the card says. Let's see what the card said about Sarah Rogers. It's going with Rogers. There we go. And on that note, folks, I'll be back at 3 p.m. or just before 3 p.m. for the live watch along. Make sure you join, or if you're free, please feel free to join. And before you go and exit, good luck this week. Thank you very much for subbing. Thank you very much for getting involved in the chat. And if I can ask you for one more favor, smash the like button before you leave. And with that being said, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. I've been the D-Unit and good luck for Game Week 27. Bye!